Brandi Harvey is finally speaking up about the shady things that Marjorie has been doing, and boy is it a lot. According to Brandi, Marjorie is the textbook definition of an evil stepmom. Fans have had a doubt about this for a really long time, but now after everything that Brandi revealed, our suspicions have turned into belief. Fans always knew that Marjorie only married Steve for his money, but only a few of them thought that she would work so hard to take his own children away from him, just so she and her children could enjoy Steve's wealth alone. As crazy as that all sounds, fans think that Brandi is telling the truth.
The uniqueness of my story is that I was fired from my father. Because I was fired, I was able to start Beyond Her, an active wellness brand for women of color, and then be able to write this book.
And especially when you look at how Steve and Marjorie first met and got together, this all makes even more sense. Today on Celebrity Circle, we are going to talk about how Brandi Harvey spoke up about Marjorie being the real stepmother and all the shady things she has done since she got married to Steve. But before we get into spilling all the tea on that, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button as well. Now first we should look at how Marjorie and Steve actually met and got married. Most people look at their marriage like a love story straight out of the books. And that's how they talk about all of it as well. But the matter of the fact is that their marriage was anything but lovely. It came with its fair share of shady dealings from both sides.
He finally realized, okay, I gotta say something. He was like, oh, I'm sorry. I don't know who this is, but I'm gonna marry her.
Firstly, we all know that Steve and Marjorie had been married twice before they met each other. Steve's wife before Marjorie said that Steve was a terrible father. But that's not all that she said. She added that he wasn't there for their son when he needed a father. And to make matters worse, he was even abusive to his own 11-year-old kid. Yup, and then when he got married to Marjorie, things got worse. According to his ex-wife, Marjorie was the one who would motivate Steve to be even more strict with his son.
I mean, because he's a role model, right?
You know, well, this is the thing. You fuss at the kids when I go in and it's like their rooms are a mess. And I'm like, Steve, this is ridiculous. There's stuff everywhere. And he goes in, he fusses at the kids. He's like, if you don't get this stuff out of here, and you better not let me catch this room looking like this again. And I'm like, Steve.
But why would she do that? What was her motive behind all of this? Well, we are going to get into that in just a bit. But first, let us finish telling you all about Steve. When his ex-wife wanted custody of her son because she knew that Steve was abusive, things got worse for everyone. Not only did Steve get full custody of his son, but he also continued his abusive pattern. The only reason he won the case was because he had enough money to afford fancy lawyers, and his ex-wife wasn't as blessed. Now that we have that out of the way, let us tell you all about Marjorie and how she met Steve. Steve and Marjorie met at one of Steve's shows when he was performing back in the 80s. But it didn't go as they always like to tell people. The story they tell people is that it was love at first sight and that both of them knew instantly that they were meant to be together. Now that sounds all sweet and lovely, but the truth is far from that.
She came down front with her girlfriend. Yeah. When I saw her, I quit breathing.
He stopped the show, actually.
The truth of the matter is that Steve saw Marjorie in the audience and got an instant crush on her. He even told the audience about it. But when he confessed to Marjorie, she rejected him right then and there. And the reason behind her rejection is going to blow your mind. She said that she would never marry or be with a man who was making less money than she wanted. Now when you look at her dating history, this is all true. She was married to 2 drug dealers before she got married to Steve. And the only reason she left both of her ex-husbands was because both of them got busted and went broke. So as soon as times got tough, she ran out that door. Fans think that this is what she's doing with Steve as well, and that the only reason she married him was because he was a millionaire. So remember how we told you about her rejecting Steve? You must be wondering about how they got married. Well, after Steve's second divorce, he was earning a lot of money in his new career as a comedian. And this is when he once again asked Marjorie out. This time, she said yes without hesitation. But her shady dealings didn't end there. Her plan was longer than that. But before we tell you more about that, make sure to share this video with a Steve Harvey fan and hit that thumbs up while you're at it too. After the two got married, Marjorie asked Steve to give her children his name. Now this had a bunch of advantages for not only Marjorie but also her children. Now the first one is that they got a lot of fame and popularity out of it all. And the second and more important reason behind her action was that this meant that her children would have a bigger part in Steve's inheritance. But she didn't stop there. She continuously kept trying to distance Steve from all of his other children so that he would focus solely on her children. And it really worked.
Yeah. What's up? This is my daughter, Lori, everybody. This is my youngest daughter.
Steve's son from his first wife did an interview where he said that Steve wasn't a good father to him because he just simply wasn't there for him most of his life. He said that Steve only started being a father figure for him once he turned 16. Before that, he only sent child support and fulfilled the formalities.
I didn't really have my dad full-time into my life until I was 16.
After he got married to Marjorie, it got worse, and he drifted away from his own children. While he was ignoring his own children, he was taking his stepchildren on nice little picnics all around the world, all because that was what Marjorie wanted. There was one child that he focused the most on, and that was Brandi Harvey. Lori is Marjorie's daughter, and Marjorie always wanted her to become a big star. And we want you to pause for a second and think of which of Steve's children is the most famous. If you thought of Lori, you were right. She's the one that Steve makes the most public appearances with, and according to sources, he has had a big hand in getting her where she is today in her career.
On one of our annual father-daughter dates to my favorite Japanese restaurant, and you just started talking to me about guys, and you just told me that you always supported me and you'd always be there for me no matter what, and you loved me.
All of Steve's other children have lived lives full of neglect from their father. But you can't only blame Marjorie here. Steve is a grown man and he should know how to treat his own children. Just because his new wife said something doesn't mean he's a saint. He's equally at fault here. But according to fans, he's also getting played by Marjorie because, as we already discussed, the only reason she's with him is for the money. As soon as things get tough financially, Marjorie is going to make a run for the hills, and fans are sure of it. Brandi Harvey had had enough of all of this and finally decided to speak up about what not only she, but all of her siblings have gone through all their childhood. And we are so glad that she did, because now we know who to blame in all of this. It's only a matter of time before other sources close to the family start speaking up, and God knows what other shady things Marjorie has done to secure the bag. We appreciate the hustle, girl, but maybe keep the children out of it, right? And that was all we had time for in today's video. Do you think Marjorie is the real stepmother in this family? Or do you think that Brandi might be lying because she's jealous of Marjorie's daughter? Let us know all your thoughts in the comment section below. And oh, y'all better hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed the video and smash that subscribe button for more videos like this one in the future. And with all that said, as always, we will see you in our next video.